Hello, the internet! It is Saturday, the 5th of February 2022, and welcome back to the channel. And a massive welcome back to the channel to Just Edie in the house, and everybody else in the chat, but I'm just looking up there to the chat and seeing a handle we haven't seen for a while. Very good to have you, Just Edie. Edie, Murphy, I'm going to go through the chat here like we do on D-Live. I see myself, I see Edie, I see Hendrik, I see David. There we go. I see 4 crew, minus me. Oh no, hang on, 5 minus me is 4. Are we going to give cheerses out? I think we are. We're going to give cheerses out. 1, 2, oh, hold on. This is the tap of the cheers of the microphone, which we do on D-Live. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do it differently on D-Live. I'm not trying to do my D-Live show here on YouTube. But it is good to have you all in the chat. Very kind of you. Just Edie says, hello, Gibbs. I said, hello. Hendrik said, hello, all. I said, long time no see. I was almost going to make a gag and say, long time no CD, Edie. But I didn't. I declined. David says, I said, yo, H-Man, good morning. David says, hey, Gibbs and everyone in the chat. Hey, Edie, good to see you again. It has been good to see you, Ben on. Hi there, Hendrik. Yo, Davo, smash that like button. I see 7 watching and 5 likeses. Could we get the likeses up to the same viewer count? That'd be pretty handy, or pretty cool. Thank you to those that did like. Appreciate that. David, please don't forget to share the stream out, everyone, and show the love for Gibbs, as he is such a great, positive guy. Thank you, David. What a lovely sentiment. What a lovely statement. What a lovely gesture. Appreciate you. Thanks, man. Just Edie with the cheers. Rich in the house. Hey, Givers. G'day, Rich. How you doing, man? We can all play along on the chat, but I do have to turn my AC up just a niggin, a little notchin'. It's on like 1 out of 10. I'm going to go up to like 3 out of 10 skis. That's better. Got a little bit of cool air coming in here. It's a bit of a warm day here in Australia, but I want to tell you something. You know this, can I even use the word? I want to use the COVID word. I'll just call it the C thing. You know, this C thing happened, and pretty much the whole world went into somewhat of a lockdown. Can I even say that word? An LD. We had the C and we all went into LD. And everybody started using a product called Zoom. Can I say Zoom, or have I got to call it Z? I can say Zoom, I just can't say COVID or lockdown. Whoopsie! I think I've just said it a few too many times. Here's the thing. I reckon I'm one of the only persons that didn't touch that program up until, is it Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning? It's irrelevant. Up until earlier this week, I had never even seen the program called Zoom. Now, there was an instance where I needed to use it for an online meeting of sorts. And so I was going to just talk a little about that process as someone who's never used Zoom before and what the experience was like. And just one thing that I kind of found a little bit sketchy, or a little bit, not sketchy, that's the wrong word. One thing that could be done better by default from Zoom. That's just one little thing. And then I want to ask you yahoos, what do you think? Have you used Zoom? Because this is a live stream after all. We got the chat. We can ask and converse. So I'd like to find out your take on Zoom, if you've used it. Did you start using it due to the C-bomb and the LD and the global I say it slow, it doesn't catch on. You know what I'm saying, right? Did you start using Zoom because of that? Like I didn't. The reason I didn't use it, I didn't have any need for it. I was already live streaming before the C-bomb and the LD happened. And arguably, OBS on a live stream kind of does the same thing. Like, you can certainly do a conference call through OBS. Of course, it would take you to sort of tweak a few settings and set it up a little. It's not quite out of the box to do what you'd like it to do, but it can definitely do it. People that were doing online conferencing just went to the most simple, most user-friendly, most obvious answer, and that was a program called Zoom. It's zoom.us, isn't it? .us. I think it's zoom.us. I don't even remember the URL. That's to prove that I've never really used it before the other day. Pertsky in the house too. Hello, Pertsky. Evening all. Good to see you, man. Hey, Gibbs and the Givettes. Rob Mack's here too. Rob Mack. Dude, what a great cap game idea last night. Just a little side note. The cap game from now on, the first cap game of the month on D-Live, when it's an all-in band, the person who won the previous month gets to choose the band, as we've always done, but instead of playing random songs, for 2.5 hours, that person curates the songs. So this month, last night, Hendrik won the Cure Cap game. I believe he's going to choose Frank Zappa, if he's not changed his mind already, but he was talking about Zappa. So that means Hendrik's going to supply 2.5 hours of songs, DJ'd style. So that, because what happened was we were hearing random songs and it kept playing random songs from the same album. We did a Cure Cap game last night. We didn't even hear Friday I'm in Love. We heard 2 versions of Boys Don't Cry. We never heard The Head on the Door. Anyway, that's aside from the point. Hendrik Zappa it is. Okay, cool. Rich says, okay, so I know I went off on a tangent then, but let's get back to the topic here. Rich says, Zoom is okay, but MS Teams are better. Okay. Just Edie said, I hate Zoom. It reminds me of corporate life. Okay. Perdsky, I don't trust the privacy of Zoom. I've used it for my German classes. At work, we use WebEx. Otherwise, I use Signal. Now, I have used Signal myself, but not for conferencing. I've used it just for like just like an alternative to Telegram. But here's the thing. This is what I wanted to explain. This is my point, or my take on Zoomski. By the way, I see 8 watching and 6 likes. Can we get 8 likes maybe? Can we all like it? If we are liking it. If we're not liking it, then don't like it. So I was the recipient, right? I wasn't the host of this meeting. I was the guest. Yeah, guest. And so the person sent me the link. I hit the link. Actually, it was quite seamless because it went into my calendar appointments. So it went, and I'm on a Mac, by the way. So it went straight into the, let's just call it iCalendar. I don't think it's called that. I think it's just called Calendar. It went straight into Calendar, which, by the way, all the times Apple does that makes it very difficult to search that crap up. If you've got a problem with iTunes, it's not called iTunes anymore. It's called Music. So you start searching problem with music. Problem with iTunes, then you'd be able to find something. Problem with music, then you've got this big, very generic search term. Anyway. So I went into my calendar. Zoom meeting scheduled for whatever. Click this link. Opens up in your browser. In my case, Brave browser. You should use it. You earn crypto for using it. Basic attention token. Also use the search bar, and then you get pre-token as well. Anyway, so come up with this link, and it says, if you don't already have Zoom installed, click here. I click there, it installs Zoom. Seamless, right? So far, so good. So far, very, very easy. At the time of the meeting, or I click, sorry. After you've installed it, you click that link that takes you to the meeting, and it says the host isn't there yet. That makes sense. It's not live yet. So you kind of have the option to just wait, or you check your settings. And I was like, okay, well, I got my whole live stream set up here, so I better check which microphone and which camera it's pulling in, just to make certain everything's tickety-boo. So I go into camera settings, choose my GH5, which is not listed as the GH5. It's just a series of numbers because it goes through the Magewell HDMI input. Choose the camera, choose the microphone. This is where there's a half-point deduction from Zoom. Once you've chosen your microphone, it automatically defaults to auto select gain. Now the problem with this is, now I know the reason they do it. I'm not against the tech behind the idea. The reason it shouldn't be default checked is because that changes your volume levels. So let's just say you're in a noisy environment, or let's just say maybe you don't have a great microphone, right? Maybe you've just got, and not everybody does. People just use the microphone on camera or on laptop, whatever, fine. But the thing is, if you go off mic intentionally for, I don't know, let's just say you got something in your throat and you lean over here to cough, what auto gain will do, auto gain will lift the gain because it recognizes that you're further away, and it will increase the sound of your cough to match the it's trying to make sure that everything stays level. Now, I don't have that switched on at all. I don't use it because I've got my own microphone settings. If I want to get louder, I'll come in. And if I don't want to be on mic, I'll go over here. That kind of. So if you're taking a slash in the background, maybe you've walked out of the room and you left your mic on and you're tinkling in the toilet. Do you want that to increase so that everybody hears it? No. So that should be turned off by default, but by default it's checked on. Kind of like Skype in the day. We used to have problems with that in CreatorCast. Was it? No, yeah, well, it was Ecamm. No, hang on. Ecamm was a plugin or standalone? I can't recall if Ecamm was a plugin to Skype or if it was I think it was standalone. But either way, it had that defaulted, and we struggled with that for too long, right? Until we realized what it was. So that's minus half a point. The minus full point, so it's going to get minus 1.5 points in totes. The minus full point comes from once everything was set up. I'm like, okay, cool. The camera's all good, mic's all good. I just go back and wait, and then the host of the stream of the call comes in and starts the call. I can see him straight away, no worries. We go on for a good long, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes or something, whatever the conversation. And at one point I just said, and I made comments like, oh, sorry if I'm bleary-eyed. I've just got out of the water. I've just been surfing, and usually I've got a whole bunch of the Tasman Sea in my head and it's water's dripping out and crap. I made words to that effect. And then said, talking specifically about something or other. I won't tell you what it was because it's pretty dang rad if it does come off, but I said, I've got to show you something just to illustrate a point. And I go and get the thing, and I'm showing it on the screen, and I'm talking about it in detail and saying, and you can see this, and this is the inputs and all that stuff. And then the person says, just a heads up, I haven't been able to see anything in this whole call. Like, your camera's not there. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? And we've already been on the call for well and truly into the 7th or 8th minute, right? So I'm like, what? How come? What? So the minus point from, I'm going to say Skype, the minus point from zoom.us is that even though you check all those things before the stream or before the call, they're not switched on. The camera wasn't on, and it wasn't using the mic I'd chosen. It was using the default mic. So I thought we were having a conversation using this mic and this camera because that's what I checked during the setup process, and everything was good to go. The moment the call started, that camera wasn't even on, and I didn't know, and the microphone had jumped to the default microphone input on my laptop. So, okay, you might say, no worries, dude, just select the right one and off you go. Yeah, true, but wow, just started raining really heavily. But why make the point of having the user select everything if you don't store those selections for that call? And also, it might have been user error in the fact that I didn't know my camera wasn't on, because there is a button kind of down on the bottom left-hand corner that says either show camera or use camera or whatever. Whatever the thing is to get your camera on, it's right there. I didn't see it because I've never been on Zoom before. You would just assume if you've tested everything, unless it comes up with a massive button saying, did you want to turn your camera on? Yes or no? For the absolute dummies in all of us, which I am one, you just assume it's on once you've selected it. You don't select something and then assume it's off, right? Do you? I don't. If I make a selection, I'm assuming the selection is selected and it's used. So that's my gripe. 1.5 points deducted from the Zoom skis. Other than that, though, once it was up and running, wow, very clean, very cool, very easy to use. No problems at all from there on. Just those two, one major thing and one less of a thing. Now, that's my rant. Over to you. What are your takes on this? Let me, Teams. So Hendrik says, Teams is great in a corporate environment. Zoom is great for telehealth. Telehealth. Now, Hendrik, did you know about Zoom before the pandemic, before this global outcry, before the COVID hit? Did anybody know about Zoom before this? Because I didn't. Podsky, Zapper Cap Game would be insane. I guess it depends how much of the discography you have. Quite a bit, Podsky. Rich, not saying it's a generation thing, but more the times everything is dumbed down in terms of tech because people don't want to have to learn the tech. And yet, you've just highlighted my point, Rich. Completely 100% validated what I just said. It needs to be the most simplest, most obvious in front of you. But what I'm saying is that wasn't. Yet it sort of felt like it was. because it asked me to walk through. Choose your mic, choose your camera. Chosen. Good. It's like you're in a restaurant and they ask you what would you like off the menu, and you go, I'll have that and that. Then they come back to you and go, they just come back to you with no food. It's like, what about my selections from the menu? Oh, you got to reselect. You got to select again. We thought we were just asking you, what did you like? What have you seen that you liked? It's not quite like that, but if I'm going to drag, or if I'm going to draw from a metaphor, a badly drawn metaphor, it's going to be that one. Hendrik agrees with you. Rich, so we get stuck with crappy default values. Each successive version of Windows or any OS supports this. So you're talking about the auto gain feature in the microphone. Right. Are you saying every version of Windows or Mac OS does that as well? Because I don't think I've encountered auto gain on my Mac. You mean in the default audio settings? Be interested to have a look at that, even though I don't often go in there. I mean, just out of curiosity, I use the Element 46 from Apogee, and that's got its own software and hardware. So I don't often go into that default audio settings in the Mac OS. But you saying that that's always got auto gain check on? Interesting. Okay. Rob says you should be able to see yourself on the call. Yeah, and yeah, exactly right. And by the way, that selection process was there because there was also a point where it asked me, do I want to flip my camera? So right now, this is my right hand. I know that because I'm holding it up. It's right next to me and it's on my right hand side. Yet if I look to my screen, it's what you see. So it's flipped like that. That's normal, but you can either have it so that it's flipped on your screen so that when I put my right hand up, on the screen I see my right hand, which makes it a bit confusing because then the text will be written backwards. Like that Tennessee Taster bottle behind me would be written backwards, but it would appear as if it's right for me, but it would still be the same for you. So what I'm sort of getting at is that was an option for me to choose as well. Did you want to flip this or did you want to leave it? They had all those enhancement stuff too, like, like make me look better or like enhance my image. And like, how do you enhance someone's image? I mean, and there's skin smoothening and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I won't be touching any of that crap. I want this guy to see the real me, right? Now, just giving away, it was a mail call I had. It was a call with another mail. My work phone number is a Zoom number. That's interesting, Hendrik. Huh. Oh, sorry, that's Rob Mack. Your work numbers are Zoom calls. That's pretty cool. I mean, okay, I'll get back to the chat in a second, but is Zoom, heaven forbid, but if CreatorCast was still a thing, would Zoom be what we needed? Because I feel like Zoom, that's why I asked you when you heard about Zoom. Did Zoom come in, Zoom was already there before the pandemic, but Zoom wasn't there during CreatorCast because we would have used it surely. Or did we use it? Did we use Zoom at all? We definitely used Ecamm. We used Skype for sure. We began with Skype. Then we went on to Ecamm. I thought Ecamm was a plugin for Skype. Oh no. There was a that's what I'm getting confused. There was a Skype for creators. There were two versions of Skype. There was the dumbed down regulation version. Then there was the Skype on steroids, which was the creators version. And then there was a standalone, standalone Ecamm, but it also used the Skype backend, I think. But did we touch on Zoom? I don't know if we did. Hendrik, yes, I did know of it, but I'd never used it. So you knew of it before the pandemic. I did use it for a few doctors and psych appointments since, as well as a few DLive panels. Yes, a lot of panels, definitely a lot of panels use it. Rich, correct. Each OS seems to choose defaults for us without consulting. It's not specifically auto gain. Okay, gotcha. So it's a thing that OSs are doing, and that plays into the software package as well. Gotcha. Agree with Rob. Jason, hey, Gives and Givers. How you doing, Jason? Good to see you, man. I got a sneeze here, I think. Lucky I don't have auto gain, because if I'm going to sneeze, I'm going to do it off camera, and I don't want that to pick it up as much as it's going. Entschuldigung bitte. You definitely don't want an auto gain on that, right? Crikey. Woo. Gesundheit, mein Freund. I might have to take a little pill. Hey, Mindy's in the house. Mindy! How you doing, Mindy? Good to see you. Good to have you. Good to know you, Mindy. What? Jason, hey, Gibbs. Did I say hello to Jason? I think I did. I can't recall. When I sneeze like that, everything goes out the window. All of my memories just blown out the front. I think Zoom's been around since 2014. Is that right? Well, that means it definitely would have been there for us to use on CreatorCast. When we started working from home, everyone got a Zoom number. There you go. Okay, so Zoom was the default. That was the go-to, right? Everybody got one. Mindy, we started, I like Zoom, Mindy says. Rob Mac, hi Mindy, hi Rob, hi Mindy, Gesundheit, thank you, Pertsky. Zoom communication was launched in January 2013, according to Wikipedia. Speaking of the internet, I did go to a place called trustradius.com, this site right here. I found a bunch of comments about the Zoom platform. Thought we could just have a quick look here. The overview is Zoom should allow customers to opt out of the annual subscription and downgrade to pay per use. So, okay, well, that's interesting. I didn't actually encounter any cost in this at all. Man, this house makes weird noises. As a recipient of the interview or the call, it didn't cost me anything. I don't know if it cost the host to set that up, but it didn't cost me anything as a recipient. But it looks like the overriding arch here is that you shouldn't have to pay for it. When was 2014, Richard? When was 2014? Jason, I use Zoom to meet with my psychiatrist and case manager for a couple of years now. You've been using it, and any problems? Okay, we see in the chat a lot of users that use Zoom. Does anybody have a bugbear that they don't like? Like, what are the things that you don't like about Zoomskis? Is there anything that could be nailed down? I nailed down 1.5 things. If anybody else has anything at all, that'd be handy. Let's continue reading what the internet has to say, though. Popular features: desktop sharing, high-quality videos, meeting initiative, high-quality audio. Reviewer pros and cons. Video conferencing, that's not a pro, that's actually what the thing's designed for. Con, customers often talk over each other and the other person cannot be heard. Now that's the auto gain mic feature, right? It cuts off everybody else. Yes, 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 okay. Supports fully multiple concurrent video feeds. Cool, cool, cool. Jason says it's way better than Skype by a mile. I feel like Skype has just completely gone off the planet, right? Who's using Skype anymore? Hendrik, the free version only gives you 40 minutes for calls. Interesting. So, as the recipient, as the answer, or the receiver, as I didn't make the call, right? I received the call, so I never see a countdown. But the caller has a clock that says you've only got 5 minutes left, or 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, our call went longer than 40, but I'm going to assume he had the full version of it. Got to drive, but listening. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting me know, dude. Thank you. I do see 9 watching and 9 likes. That's really kind of you all. 9 upvotes and 9 likes, 9 viewers. That's a good number, good round number. Rob Mac, my friends and I have a few Zoom drinks during lockdown. You get a certain amount of time for free, and sometimes they give you unlimited time. Okay. 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 The Microsoft poisonous kiss, says Perdsky. Not too sure what that means. Video. This is a con here. Video streaming sometimes went off if you changed the app. Okay. Oh, here's the pricing. $15 a month for the Pro, and then it goes up from there. Wow, that's expensive. Like, really expensive. Considering, like I said earlier, OBS does everything Zoom does. Wow. You got to tweak it, right? But you could perform the same tasks in OBS for free. But as we've established, it's meant for the layman, right? Don't want to have to fiddle and browser sources and why is my audio not working? Although I gotta say, OBS is getting a lot better on a Mac. It's probably just catching up to what OBS on a PC has always been, but I feel like there's definitely something to be said. There's a lot to be said in favor of OBS these days, whereas back in, certainly when I began live streaming, OBS was frustrating on a Mac. Frustrating like you wouldn't believe. Like, Hendrik will vouch for this. You had to set it up in certain... You had to turn on monitors in a certain order. You had to go back and reignite your sources and turn them on and turn them off, refresh the cache. All this crap. And audio was always an issue, but yeah, it's all right now. It's all right now. So it features quite well. 8.4 performance and compatibility, screen sharing. Okay, online meetings, events. Okay, so let's get rid of this tech guy on the side here. What is Zoom? Zoom helps people stay connected so they can get more done together. From meetings, chat, phone, and webinars. Let's all surf the internet. Hang 10. To conference room systems and online events, Zoom powers all your communication needs. This is an ad, basically. Our secure, reliable video platform offers a high-quality experience that is easy to manage, use, and customize. So you can do meetings and chats, Zoom phone. So is there a Zoom hardware as well? Or is that just like the software that you install on your phone? Microsoft bought Skype, said Pertsky. Hendrik said correct. If you call someone with the full version, it's unlimited. Okay, cool. That's what you'd assume, right? You'd make that assumption. Pertsky, Microsoft bought Skype. That's why it sucks now. So Microsoft have ruined Skype. Yeah, Jason confirms. I think Perdsky is referring to how Microsoft killed Skype. Most people I know wouldn't touch Skype with a 10-foot pole. Yeah. So there's a couple of things at that point too. Discord popped up, which has, even to this day, Discord, there's still a few bugbears that I've got with it. Like you can't use a remote camera source as an NDI. Like you can't feed a camera in. You can feed a camera in, but you can't feed a camera in as an external source. So there's no virtual camera, unless they've changed that in the last 7 months, 8 months. Hendrik, so glad I've got Loopback. I got rid of iShowU and Black Hole completely. Yeah, man. I can't speak highly enough of Loopback and Audio Hijack. From Rogue Amoeba. Rogue Amoeba is the company that makes these arguably very straightforward. If you're a PC user, if you're on Windows, you'll be like, what? That stuff's existed on the Windows machine since day one. Yeah, it hasn't on the Mac. And ironically, audio is what Macs are for, making music, right? But the music or the audio routing on a Mac always been lousy. Rogue Amoeba with their software Loopback and Audio Hijack as well. These two things are freaking amazing. I prefer Zoom over Discord for panels. Yeah. I was going to say, like, the Discord, the use case for Discord on a panel discussion, 100%, I think it's better. It's better on Zoom. Speaking of panels, does anybody want to call in? I mean, heaven forbid we have a chat. If anybody wants to call in, we can. We can have a discussion right here, right now, if you want to. Hey, that's the flexibility of going live, right? I was going to read these things and then kind of wrap it up. But if anybody wants to call in and discuss their use case of Zoom, welcome to. This is not a D-Live stream. You don't have to be a subscriber to call in. If you want to, let me know. Zoom features, performance, blah, 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 bling, bling, blang. Screen sharing, desktop sharing, document file sharing, whiteboards, application sharing. Okay. Online meetings, scheduled events, meeting initiative. Okay, cool. Mute media, multiple webcam streams. Okay, cool. So basically, it's essentially a lot. The only thing it needs is an RTMP feature, right, where you could pull it out. Should we have a look at this video? I'm not dressed yet. No, understood, Hendrik. Understood. Well, maybe we'll hold it off till later. We'll do a stream on D-Live. I was going to say, should we watch this Zoom video in case? I don't know. Let me just see what it's all about. Is it from Zoom themselves? If it's from Zoom, it's from Zoom. You know what? I'll play this. If Zoom have made this video, I'll play it. Let's make it full screen.
I'm Jen Hill, Product Marketing Manager for Meetings and Chat, and I'm going to show you the education use case for multi-spotlight, multi-pin.
I gotta tell you, if this is a Zoom video, that audio sounds rubbish already. Did you like that's maximum volume as well, and there's a background hiss. I'm gonna turn it up at my end here just a little. Just go up a couple of dB here, but there's a background snake going on there. I hope you guys can hear. Let's take it back. But Jen, not doing a very good idea here to promote. Listen to this.
I'm Jen Hill, Product Marketing Manager for Meetings and Chat, and I'm going to show you the education use case for multi-spotlight, multi-pin, and gallery view reorder. So let's get started. So first of all, when you're in speaker view like this,
and also note how absolutely woeful that green screen looks. Now, of course, this is a software green screen, so hey, heavens above, dudes! I'm looking down at my my stream here. I see 8 watching and 11 likes. That's amazing. Thank you very much. When there's more likes than viewers, the algorithm goes, what's going on? Doesn't know what to do, eh? 8 watching and 11 likes. We should end this right now and get out of here. That's really nice. 8, 9, 10. That's 3 more likes than the viewer count. Yeah, that's got to be good, huh? Thank you very much.
Whoever is speaking, their video is highlighted or spotlighted automatically. And so this can be kind of interrupted in a class. If a student speaks up, then their video would come across. Like for example, if Tom said hi, then his video would pop up instead of mine.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming to our class today.
Exactly. So if you have interruptive students who like to speak up and you don't want to constantly be muting and unmuting, then the video would change. And so we can solve this problem with multi-spotlighting. So myself as the host, I can make someone a co-host, and then a host and a co-host can spotlight. In other words, a teacher and a teaching assistant. So I'm going to go ahead and make the teaching assistant the co-host. So you go into the participants panel and hit the down arrow, and you can say make host or make co-host. I've already made Tom my co-host, so you can see that I can withdraw his co-host permission here. Any case, so now myself and Tom can pin certain videos. Say for example, we want 2 students to go ahead and present to the rest of the class. You can go to their video, hit those 3 dots, and you can now see spotlight for everyone. This changes the view for the entire class or the entire meeting. So I can spotlight one student and make another student spotlighted. So now you'll notice no matter if I'm talking or who else is talking, only these 2 videos will show up.
It's a bit clunky. Like, to be frank, that should just be a click on their face, not like right click, scroll down, make co-host, right click, scroll down, spotlight to everybody. It should just be like, you just tap it, right? It shouldn't be that deep. Or keyboard commands, hotkeys, right? That then you could translate to a stream deck.
Presentation for a class. Again, going to those 3 dots will remove those spotlights.
That's too much clicking.
So now, multi-pinning. Multi-pinning works very similarly, except the view of who you spotlight or pin is only...
Sorry, Jason said, I think I ate enough protein today. 4 eggs, 4 strips of bacon, and now 2 chunks of cheese. Crikey, Jason. That's a lot of food. I attended church by Zoom. Oh, you did church services with Zoom. Wow. Interesting.
For you. So this is a specific case of like one student say needs a language interpreter or something like that. They can pin the interpreter for their own specific view, and the whole class does not have this view. And it's the same way to do that. You can go ahead and click those same 3 dots and you'll see pin just above spotlight. Now going into gallery view. Hit the view button in the right corner and see gallery. Now we can see the entire class. You're probably used to this view. What's really useful for gallery view reordering is now I can move myself as the teacher, and I can move my teaching assistant to the same place. And this is now the view for everybody. And this order will not move.
See, just in comparison, all this stuff is available in Restream.io, and for cheaper, right? I go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No worries, Jason. And they do their stuff by Zoom. That's pretty cool.
No matter who is speaking. And also, I can rearrange my students to be in the right order for roll call. and also keep track of who's talking and move around my students' recording to say discussion groups. So this is the great use case for classes to reorder in gallery view, to multi-spotlight for the entire meeting to make sure those videos are spotlighted, or to multi-pin.
Church services should be regular live streams, in my humble opinion. Okay, well, that was that's not what I was thinking that video was going to be. I thought that was going to be like a bit of a rundown of Zoom. But hey, keep it down over there. Interesting, right? This idea of Zoom, it certainly is. There's features in there that are interesting and unique, but like I said, all of them can be done. Well, they definitely can be done in Restream.io. But then again, so if I could summarize here, I feel like maybe we're at a particular point in history where there's two avenues, let's call them, of, for want of a better term, live streaming, because that's what a Zoom call is. It's a live stream, right? It's not broadcast to everybody, but it's a live stream that's broadcast to a certain number of people. In most cases, one other person. That's when you have the one-on-ones. But if you're having, like this woman, a school class, that's a live stream broadcasted to 29 students or 30 students, whatever. So if you think about it as live streaming, feels like the product lineup, like Zoom versus Restream versus OBS versus any other streaming coder, we're kind of at this unique point in history where there are sort of certain spikes, if you like, or different like SKUs is the better term. They're different SKUs of live streaming, but ultimately all the packages are kind of doing the same thing, yet they're selling them for specific purposes. So Zoom is definitely targeted towards churches and school students and meetings for business, whereas OBS isn't. Yet, like I said, OBS does all that. And so does Restream.io, but Restream.io is targeted to live streamers, not businesses, students, and churches, for the same example. So that's would you guys agree that that's kind of like we're at this point where they're all sort of doing the same thing, but they're all branded slightly different, but yet they're all covering the same kind of ground? They aren't allowed full services. So church services aren't allowed to do broadcasting their live services in entirety. That's interesting. Zoom is user-friendly for people like me. Mindy, yeah. I think that's the main benefit. Hendrik, I find Zoom super easy too. Right, so I mean, that's case in point, right? Like case in point. It's super easy to use. No one has to faff around with it. It's designed for the layman, easily to understand, easy to get going, and therefore it'll always have a market. That's how I look at it. One other thing I just noticed, crikey, I see 7 watching and 15 likeses. That's insane. Thank you so much for all the likes, folks. That's really kind. 15 likes and 7 viewers. That's a number that has to trip up the algorithm, right? The algorithm's like, either he's got bots. Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking. They're either bots, or he's actually got good crew of community that likes his content. That's cool. Thank you. Does anybody have anything further to add to this conversation before we wrap up here? I mean, I've expressed my thoughts and my concerns and given my illustration. Will I use Zoom again? More than likely, yes. Will it be me that initiates it? More than likely not. But if someone says, hey man, we got to get back on and have a chat about whatever, I'm happy to go through with Zoom. I mean, now I know about the making sure you select it and check it and keep it and then double check it before and make sure the camera's on. I get all that. Just a little bit of a rocky beginning, but nothing that I can't overcome for next time. Jason, they aren't allowed full church services in persons like the usual pre-pandemic 300 in the building. Oh, you're saying that they can't have the full service because of the caps on the number of people. Yeah. They are allowed as much Zoom as they want. They're allowed. Yeah. So yeah, Jason, I get you. You just didn't word it very clearly. You meant that because of COVID, you can't have 300 people inside a church. So that's why Zoom is the thing. Hendrik, if you had a bot, you'd have 1,000 likes. This is true. Yeah. I guess they can figure that one out themselves, right? If it was a bot doing all this, there'd be a lot more activity. But yeah, 7 and 15 is extremely favorable for me. I'm not going to push this too much further because I don't want to ruin the algorithmic algorithm. So thanks for being here. I am going to stream later on DLive. It's a real lousy day here and I'm not going to go surfing. So instead we're going to either watch a music doco or, heaven forbid, we'll have a call in. But either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for your comments, folks. Thanks for the likes. And I'll see you yahoos on the next live stream. Zoom call? Nah. Get out of here. Go on.